What's up, YouTube? Trying to do a live stream. Just waiting on some people to come in. What's up, Princess? Yo, when y'all check in, holler at me in the comments so I know y'all in here. Hey, Nikki. What's cracking, D Money? I like your name. What up, Tony? Thank you, Evolving. And welcome to the crew. Yo, Justin. What's cracking? Mo. Hey, how you? When I go live, y'all can see that I can't really see very well. I have to strain my eyes to see this little writing. What's going on, Donovan? It's coming, Tony. How long you been trying? Good deal, Mo. How many leads did you get? Ramon, what's cracking, brother? Not a lot on my end. What's going on with you? That's good, Mo. Try to get them out in the mail as soon as you can. What's cracking, Chris? 2 weeks, Tony. You got 3 on the contract. You about to close the deal, brother. What up, Cypress? How are you? Y'all, it took me like 10 minutes to figure out how to go live. I'm trying to turn the camera the other way, but I couldn't get it to work. I think they call this portrait. I don't really like talking on this view right here. Chris wanted me to speak on lease options. To be honest with you, Chris, I'm really not qualified to speak on lease options because I don't really do them at this point. So maybe a few months down the line, I have more intel to give you on lease options. How long you been trying, Ramon? I'm sorry, Nicole. That's the key, Tony. Don't give up, man. Technically speaking, you're going to fail more times than you succeed in wholesaling. But you only need to succeed once. What's going on, Roger? Yeah, Chris, that's a lot of finagling going on with lease options, but some people do very well in it, man. I gotta educate myself more in it. I'm really just more or less wholesaling exclusively right now. But Chris, it's funny you mentioned that, dog. It's I got this seller that really want me to buy this house from him from like $1,700, but it's in a real rough neighborhood, man, and the home values ain't very high there, and got a lot of work to do to it. And I was thinking about just keeping it for myself and doing like an owner financing on it to try to get my feet wet. But the house is in terrible condition, man. I just don't want to get out there and get stuck. I may call him back maybe sometime next week and see if he sold the house yet. But he crazy motivated, man. It's private money, a good way to get some capital, says Tony. It depends on what you're trying to do, Tony. What you trying to twerk? What's going on? Nicole, I really ain't got nothing to talk about today. I just really want to check in. I was about to get ready to go to Home Depot. Being the procrastinating person I am, I was going to kind of wait till like an hour before they close and dip in and dip out. So, had a little little free time when sitting here doing that. Just got on and seeing what y'all doing. Cause a lot of y'all be getting on me for not doing videos a lot, so I'm trying to provide a lot of content, I guess, or just check in. Tell me how it worked, Mo. Tell me, like, do you get any kind of different responses back from the people that call you back? Did they say anything about it? I like to put my picture on there just to build that immediate bond with them as soon as they open my letter. Like, okay, this is the guy who wrote me. Like, yeah, that's the guy who wrote you. Get some tax liens properties. You might can build your relationship with the local investors who be at the sheriff's auction, man. You know, do a little business with them, and they may actually finance you right there. I'm sure ain't nothing but hard money lenders there. I love probation code. It's like that, and probably driving for dollars is like my favorite lead sources. I need to send me some probate letters. Speaking of it, though, I may go to the courthouse tomorrow, depending on what I got to do. But if you stay consistent on probates, man, those will get you some nice spreads. Do you send earnest money to the title company? Says my guy Trippy. I try to get them to give me the earnest money, Trippy. You can always open like an escrow at a closing attorney or through like a title company, escrow company. But if you wholesaling, you typically want to try to get them to earnest money. But that's not always going to be the case, of course. Roger says, how do I get info for a property that's VA default? Is that a government like veterans loan, Roger? You won't get a lot of responses on your probates, Nicole, in comparison to something like a vacant list. But generally, the people on your probates, a lot of times they be just as motivated, and from my experience, the spreads are better. Especially if you get somebody who like inherited a house and they don't even live in the same state. You know, they don't. At that point, they don't really got a lot of attachments to it, or maybe not a lot of sentimental value, and they just be ready to cash out on. What I use for skip tracing to find seller's phone number? I'm pretty cheap, BJ, so I try to go the free routes, Facebook, dig into Google. But if you got to pay, if you want to use like a paid service, which is of course going to be, it's going to enhance your chance of finding what you need. I think whitepages.com got pretty good rates. Um, Intellis, they're pretty good. It's another one I think they call it Nexus Lexus. But I try to put my investigator hat on and try to hunt them down if I have to. It depends on what lead source that I'm doing at the time, Nicole. There may be like a selling agent on that you can contact, Roger. Somebody would be working that property or that house, so you want to try to get in contact with them. But to be honest with you, full disclosure, I never got in a house through a VA loan house, so um, I'm really not versed to speak in detail on that. What's the best way to find the owner of the property? If you're trying to send them some mail, go to your tax assessor site. If you're trying to get in contact with them, then you kind of just got to scour the internet a little bit, see if you can find them. Like a lot of your older sellers, a lot of times you can find their phone number on the internet sometimes, because a lot of times they'll still have a landline and they've had it forever. Trippy said, if you got a if you got a house that's vacant, what's your strategy to find out where they live? Just go to the tax assessor site, and it's gonna have an address there for them. It'll have a mailing address, and just send them some mail from there. It'll have their name there as well. How can I virtual wholesale in Georgia and I'm in Indiana? Easy. Buy you like a list that's Georgia specific, wherever you want to market it in Georgia. Buy like for example, like a vacant sellers lead, vacant motivated sellers lead list based in Georgia. If you want to go to Atlanta, just choose Atlanta as just your target city, or Fulton County as your target county, or just give them some Atlanta zip codes. I say Atlanta specifically because that's typically what people want a virtual wholesale at, is Atlanta. I don't make enough cold calls, D. Washington. That's something I'm trying to get better at, man. I don't even want to tell you how many because it's not enough, just being honest with you. But I really need to get better on that, man. I'm glad you brought that question to my attention because that just needs to further my cause. What list has worked best for me? Probates and vacant. Am I driving for dollars? My driving for dollars list. Those are my three best ones. Eddie says he has a boatload of buyers, no leads, and losing faith. Well, what are you doing to generate leads, Eddie? Talk to me about that. Let me know what's going on. Ramon says, Todd, how long does it take to close a probate deal from start to finish? From my experience, Ramon, those a lot of times be the quickest ones, man. Because a lot of times they done already been through the legal process anyway. Excuse me, going through probate. So a lot of times, for me speaking, a lot of times title issues don't really come up from probate. So probates are typically fast. It's just a matter of getting buy and sell on the contract, get it into the attorney or the title company. But those typically don't take long. Especially if you got a buyer that got the cash ready, he could just, wire that money on in. Tony wants to know, do I have an investor looking for houses in Indianapolis? I don't, Tony. I need to be more proactive, virtual wholesaler myself. So you definitely walking down the right street. That's something I need to get on. Nicole says, what am I doing for abandoning signs when they're illegal and being fined? You just want to be like in the stealth, so to speak. Get you a phone number that you don't have to put your name on. Use that on your bandit signs, and kind of fill out your market. Wherever you see other people putting bandit signs at, okay, then that's probably gonna be the best place for you to start. I'm not saying put your signs in front of nobody's in there, but in that general area, where other people have their signs out, start putting your signs out. Make sure they're being seen, but just don't be totally disrespectful with them. Some cities will look the other way, and some cities will call you the next day and tell you that, come get your signs or we're gonna start finding you. The fine is $250 per sign in my county. Ooh, what county are you in? What's up, Tabal? How many abandoned signs do you put out a week? In my market right now, Forever Noble, I still got a good bit that's kind of out there. So what I try to do is I try to do what I call like replenish. I try to go out there and do like 50 per weekend now. So as long as I do that and be constant in my like two main areas that I be working at. But you got to be consistent with them. Some people will tell you 100 a week. But my main cities, they're not real big, huge, major cities like a lot of y'all live at. King Banks was cracking. King Banks says he's trying to get his contract signed via email. How do I go about that? Well, that's very simple, King. Get you like one of them scanner apps. You can scan paperwork, documents, etc. There are a lot of free ones on the internet that work fairly good. And what you do is you'll sign the contract. You'll actually at that point scan it, email it to the seller. They'll do the same, send it right back to you via email. You can always go through places like DocuSign also if you wanted to be more professional and more kind of user friendly. They're gonna charge you a small fee per month, but DocuSign is pretty good. They'll handle all that for you. Yep, Nicole just said that, DocuSign. What's the name of your website and did you create it yourself? BJ, the name of my website is apexpropertybuyers.com. I did not create it. It's on Carrot site, and they kind of come out the box. You just pay like $35 a month, and it's pretty easy to set up. So, Trippy, you don't think that person lives at the address that's on the tax assessor site anymore? Roger says he's horrible at cold calling. He never stuttered so bad, called the seller by the address street. Roger, that's just gonna come with time, bro. You just and do what you're doing, man. Just be able to laugh at yourself being nervous and making early mistakes. But the more you do it and the more consistent you are with it, it'll start to be natural to you, man. To the point where it won't even bother you. You know. So keep doing what you're doing. Just stay consistent with it. Tyrone, I don't have an investor in Connecticut. What's up, Marterio? What's the most you would put down on EMD? Have you ever lost EMD before? I haven't never lost EMD before, Marterio, personally. As far as the most that I would put down, it all depends on how confident I am that I can get that house sold extremely quick without a problem. That'll play a lot of it. That'll play a big part in that question or that answer. The most I ever did personally was $500. No, technically the most I did was 1,000, but that was partnered up with somebody. What method did you use to build your buyers list? Probably networking. That's how I built my buyers list. Probably the best. Just through networking, doing deals with people. And I know you're probably asking me initially. A good way to do that is when you get properties under contract. Go ahead and put that property on Craigslist. And as those calls start to come in, um, that can be your buyers list. As buyers starts to call you about the property, that could be your buyers list right there. I got my first actual buyer from a bandit sign, but it was a buyer's bandit sign. So it's a lot of different ways. You can even pay for buyers if you want to. A lot of places that sell leads, they sell buyer leads too. So you can buy buyers if you like. I may just do another video on that forever because that's a kind of an extensive answer, and I was just trying to give more of a quick answer. Texas. I like Texas. I was in Houston for the Super Bowl. Folks, they were real nice to us. They wanted the Falcons to win, but we know what happened now. How do you get the buyer to give you what you want in price? Some awful less than contract price. How do you get the buyer? A lot of times, Tony, you ain't gonna get the buyer to give you exactly what you want as far as what you want with the property. And that start from the seller side. Just try to make sure you get the seller at a low enough price where, you know, you still got you a good bit of wiggle room in there too. But the better the deal, naturally, the better the deal, the more they're willing to pay. I never been on the MLS, Eddie. Never. I don't even know what the MLS homepage look like. So you don't necessarily need the MLS to wholesale. You can buy some I would probably stick with the bandit signs personally, Eddie, because it's just as effective and not as expensive. But if you really just want your phone to ring, you can buy you some leads and mail them out. That's a good idea, Mo. I mean, no matter where you at, they're gonna know what you do. What's up, Jay? What do I know about the states? You have one heading into foreclosure and trying to take over. It's a really good price. Um, Go ahead, and I'm sure you probably already did this, but who's ever the administrator of the estate currently, get in contact with them and explain the sense of urgency to them that you guys need to put this on paper before it totally goes in foreclosure. And there you go. Is the ARV percentage different depending on what state you live in? Will you specify that question for me, Jamel? And I hope I said your name right. Tampa is a good market from what everybody tell me who wholesaling y'all. So y'all need to start smashing, man. Do I get any traffic on my website? Yeah, I have leads come on my website. I do. I find deals from my website, and I need to be more extensive on that website and get behind the scenes and really use it for what it's meant to be. Just pretty much need to become a better nerd is what I need to do. Trippy says, last question, where do you get your double close contract? You get them online, Trippy. Just like put in, let's say if you, like I'm in Georgia, put in wholesaling contracts PDF Georgia, and you'll get a good amount to pop up. Of course, just filter through those, and figure out what best suits you, best on what you want to do as far as wholesaling go, and pick one of those and just print them up. I actually got a video Trippy. I don't know when I did it, but it was on contracts, and I remember putting a link in there. So when you got time, you can look down my page, and I got a link in there for some good contracts, some good assignment contracts on there too. Tony says if my ERV is 160, what's the wholesale price on estimated value? What does that 45 mean, Tony? What my phone? What does that 45 mean? And that way I can understand what you're asking me. Tampa checking in big time. What's cracking, Malcolm? Forever Noble, we are attorneys. Hollywood, what's good? Hollywood says, hey, Tyler, do you disclose to the seller that you're the wholesaler and plan on signing the contract, or is it all in the verbiage of the contract? It'll be in the verbiage of the contract. Also, that's such a tough. It's not really a tough question, Hollywood. You always want to present it as if you are the cash buyer, the cash investor, which essentially you are. So you're not technically lying to them, but it just depends on the situation. For example, if you got a lead on somebody who actually still lives in that house, and you may have to show that house to your buyer or with them there, kind of go ahead and put everything on the table at that point in time. Let them know that you do have partners, or you have a team, and you'll bring them to come by and take a look at the house. As long as you put that on the table and you say it to them, explain it to them, with total confidence, a lot of times they don't have a problem with it, because a lot of times they understand that anyway. You know, a lot of times, a lot of sellers they know you have backers. They know you have other investors, and that's normally what I use. I say, hey, I'm gonna have to get my investors over here to look at it. I don't say my buyers. I just typically say my investors. That's what they are. It says it's normal for the buyer to request a contract you have with the seller. If you're doing an assignment, yeah, Eddie, it is normal. If I'm not doing an assignment with the buyer, then I don't send them the contract. What's up, Dayon? How do I find my probates? I go to the there's a website that you can use. Well, I don't really use that often. What I do is I go to the courthouse and I'll get them from there. Or if I want to get them in like a different area, I got a guy that I buy my probate leads from. But I typically, for my local area here, I just go to the county clerk house. Those are free. It's time consuming, but again, they free. You ain't paying for them. Chris, yes, man. Yes. On a house that I'm still waiting on to close, and man, that's been a woozy. I might do a video on that one, but I probably won't. But yes, to answer your question, yes, Chris. Would I suggest pursuing a property that was listed on auction but was canceled? I would. I definitely would, because that probably gonna further somebody's motivation. So I most certainly would. If you cancel the contract with the seller, what does the title company or attorney need from you? For me, anytime but this is based on my relationship with the attorney that I close with all the time. But if something don't work out with me and the seller, I can just typically email that attorney and say, "Hey, Erica, this ain't gonna work because of this," and that be at the end of it. You can always do termination documents as well, but that's typically the only thing it takes with me. I haven't got a deal done that way tripping, but I've got some leads on that. I for, it's gonna be wherever the probate department at. Normally, when you walk in a courthouse, of course, you go through the metal detectors. You just ask the person, whoever working right there, who check you for weapons. Where's the probate division, or probate department. They'll know what you're talking about. Or probate records. They'll point you in the direction. No problem, Eddie. Tyrone, yes, you should put your phone number on your bandit signs, but not your phone number. Get you like a trap phone or Google Voice, something like that. Something that can't be traced to you. Even though that can become hard in itself, but just not the phone that you got, with your name and date of birth and all that stuff under it. There you go, tripping. You about to get your deal? I should have put my glasses on. What got me started in wholesaling Forever Noble? I always had like a big interest in real estate and architecture. Ever since I was like, man, 14, 15 years old, I just always been like interested in houses. Um, I mean, when I first got my license, man, like me and my girlfriend at the time, like 16, 17 years old, we get in the car and we'll go look at houses. We would go look at houses that are being built before they put the door locks on them, and we just be looking at how they were built and like, oh, we do this, we do that. But I always just been interested in real estate, man. It's something that always interested me. Honora wants to know, should I bring a gun with me to certain areas of Atlanta? I don't think that's a bad idea. Atlanta can be wild, man, depending on where you at any given moment. Whenever I'm in Atlanta, I'm typically hanging out in the West End area. But like anywhere else, man, normally if you respect where you at, typically they show you respect. In most cases. Yeah, squatters are strapped these days. You right, Anor. Fellas says, watch out for the bluff. Y'all seen snow on the bluff? What's cracking, Mark? Business is doing pretty good, man. It can't be going better, but I really can't complain. You have a house under contract in the hood in Atlanta or North? Do you do out of state deals? I do, but I ain't did one yet, Hollywood. I need to get on the ball, man. I want to start doing deals in Florida, especially Tampa, because I can get in my car and get to Tampa, in a matter of hours. It's real close to where I'm at. And Charlotte too. I want to check Charlotte out. And everybody be talking about Memphis nowadays, man. Is a real estate license a con or pro in wholesaling? It can be actually both. It just depends on how you work it. It can be both. It's both ways have their pros and their cons. It'll help you out in some ways, and it may hurt you in some ways. Market doing good up there in Connecticut, Tyrone? What about New York? I have um I have a student that's actually in Jersey, and like we be talking about the prices up there, like in Jersey and New York. Man, real estate is so high there compared to like here in Georgia. It's crazy. California, of course, is the same way too. Man, when I went to California, just the nature of me, I started looking at like all the real estate and running comps on addresses and stuff. I was out there for like a week. Man, real estate in California is it's ridiculous, man. I don't know how anybody can afford to live out there, but it's so congested at the same time. So, it's crazy. Have I worked a deal with an agent involved? Yes, Dion. Actually, a few of them. One of my last deals had an agent in it. And ultimately, I was a little too generous, but it be like that sometimes. How long did it take me to get my first deal? I think from the point I got actually serious about it, focused and committed, I think a little bit under 2 months from start to finish. Maybe 45, 50 days, something like that. And no, I'm not a realtor. Chris asked, do I offer paid one-on-one coaching? North Cali wants. Yeah, man, California is crazy, dog. I'm talking about crazy, man. I was hanging out in Compton, and them houses over there like 700 grand just for like a 3 bedroom, 1 bedroom house. Not even in, what you consider great neighborhoods, good neighborhoods. It was crazy. But yeah, I do offer one-on-one coaching, Chris. You can message me on Instagram, or you can shoot me an email, or you can even shoot me a text, and I'll tell you more about it. That sounds like a plan, Hollywood. That sounds like definitely a plan, man. Maybe I can start doing some virtual marketing out there, man, in Connecticut. No, it's not difficult work with real estate agents. Not in my experience, Tyrone. It's different, but it's not necessarily difficult. Because a lot of times, you find the right agent, man. At the end of the day, a lot of times, y'all both going to be helping each other out. Because one thing about the real estate agents, they know all the buyers. And they know all the buyers. And sometimes the buyer is going to take sometimes their buyers may take their opinion more than they take yours, depending on how much clout that real estate agent has in that market. So, but no, man, you find you a good real estate agent, it'll be fruitful for you. It's nothing to be deterred from doing. Boy, I should have put my glasses on. What mistakes you made to turn one of your biggest lessons in wholesaling? That's a good question for Evernoble. Probably my first big mistake, man. I had a house on the contract, had a buyer for it and everything, man. And the seller had a for sale by owner sign outside of the yard. And when I got the house under contract and was marketing it, I never took the sign down. So when the buyer went over there to view the property, and he wanted to buy it, but he called the seller's number from that. He called the seller's number from that sign instead of calling me back, man. Long story short, the deal didn't go through. It depends, Dayon, because sometimes you may have a agent that represents a buyer that still may have to get a little bit of that assignment or that profit money. Sometimes you may have an agent that's working with you to get the house sold, and you have to pay them a fee or pay them a commission. So it just kind of depends on what side of the spectrum you're on. Sometimes you might get your contracts and you may send them straight to an agent. Just depending on kind of how you got your funnel going. Yeah, investor friendly. A lot of them are investor friendly nowadays, man. Especially the new generation of real estate agents. A lot of them are. I can't necessarily say it necessarily would hurt you, Nicole, because I'm not an agent, but I know there has to be a lot more transparency and disclosures initially when you are an agent. And sometimes the things that we do as wholesalers, sometimes it may not fit the same code of ethics from a agent's perspective. So it just really all depends. Good question, Eddie. Hopefully no more than within the last no longer than the next 2 years. That's a great question. So let's say 2 years max, man. If I go and do my hustle thing like I need to do, I can really accelerate that time. Jay, I would say probably do whichever one is going to yield the most profit. Um, Maybe at the least amount of time, the least amount of work. If you can get in there real quick, do the work, flip it over real fast, and the flip may be more profitable. Or if you buying it and you don't see that, and you do see that the market is probably going to start coming up and stabilizing, then hold on to it. Yeah, Tampa is hot, Jay. I'm talking about everybody be talking about Tampa, man. I need to come down to Tampa. Come down there one day and just do some networking. Maybe drive for dollars. Maybe drop a few signs on y'all. Miss Sweetie says, how's the Georgia market? Is it still hot or just certain area or better? Atlanta's still hot, man. Atlanta's just on fire right now. Some parts of Georgia are hot and some parts of Georgia are cold. Like my main market was cold for like a good minute, but it's starting to come up now, man. People starting to reinvest here. Dayon, that is absolutely correct, sir. That is absolutely correct, sir. I would, Tyrone. I do that myself. Sometimes I when I'm driving for dollars, sometimes I might just stick a sign in the house too, on the house too, right there in the front yard. So when you come back to this house, you're gonna see my sign. Let somebody take it down. Appreciate you watch Hollywood. I think I kind of stopped counting, man, but I think I'm probably around 30 now. Um, Maybe a little over 30 now at this point. I keep them in a little box though, so maybe one day I'll go in there and count them up and check. Go to the tax assessor site. That's the best way. And contact them with that address. I done miss Home Depot mess with y'all, man. I'm supposed to just sit down for like 10, 15 minutes. Now I'm gonna have to wait till the end of the morning. That's the way to go, Jay. Let them know you're in the building, dog. That's the best way to go. Cause trust me, bro, I be flowing mine. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no be about my son. The name of the person is Christina. Extension 112. You can even say my name, man, and they'll throw you a 5% discount. You can paint it if you're using somewhere like Click the Mail for your yellow letters. If you outsourcing them, then that company that's doing it, they'll mail them out for you. Sometimes if I'm doing driving for dollars letters, let's say I got like 30, 40 of them. Sometimes I just put them in my mailbox outside and mail them out that way. When you say flip houses, Tyrone, in the sense of buying a house and then doing the rehab myself and reselling it, no. But that's my plan next phase of real estate, doing fix and flips. I'm learning about that right now. Whitepages dot whitepages.com, and Tellus, those are pretty good. They Yes, Hollywood. I got a few phone numbers, man. I got like four different numbers, and I feel like I need more. And two phones. What y'all think my Falcons gonna do this year? Can we win the Super Bowl in Atlanta? Falcons win the Super Bowl in Atlanta, man. We may burn the city down. Yeah, a lot of wholesalers are like that. At least standoffish, and I may be like that in a sense too at times. But it's kind of the game. A lot of times people are just so reserved because a lot of times they'll go through the same. I guess they'll get asked the same thing a lot of times by a lot of different peoples, and sometimes it make them put the guard up. And sometimes, like if you knew they don't know your intentions, that's how it was when I first got in the game, man. These local people didn't want to talk to me, they didn't want to deal with me. But once they see that you're serious, man, and you know you're a good person and you got good intentions, then all the doors will open up. It's just time. Brother Timothy says, how do you get out of state owners of properties to sign agreements, and do they have to travel to the state that the property is in to complete the sale? Um, you can email it to them. Like if you come to an agreement and y'all are signing contracts, you can email it to them. You can fax it to them. I would not suggest you mail it to them because that takes too long. You want something instant. So what I normally do is I'll email it, or you can always fax it. I've done contracts where they've been faxed before. And no, they don't have to travel to where the property is located to complete the sale. They can do what's called a remote closing. Some people call it a virtual closing, but it's fairly simple. Nicole says, "Would I put a copy of your letters in a link and forward it?" You know what, Nicole? I stopped sending out like contracts and templates and stuff just because it became so time consuming. But I do got a video that I did, and you can actually copy the verbiage from there. It's not real long. It's a probate video. Miss Harrison says, "What do I think about another wholesaler trying to connect you to a buyer for a fee, but wants a deposit first?" So the person that is bringing you the buyer wants you to give them a deposit. Is that what you're asking? Just so I can understand what you're asking. Good question. Great question, Jerome. What is something you wish you knew before starting the real estate game? I wish I knew my numbers a lot better. I didn't really know the numbers when I first started. Kind of jumped off the porch real early into my education process, and I didn't really truly know the numbers, man. I didn't necessarily know great deals from bad deals, good spreads from bad spreads. I really wish I knew the numbers a lot better. I really wish I would have educated myself on that, had somebody that had someone to lean on and ask those kind of questions. I was just really going off based on what people who had been in the industry a lot longer was telling me. And that wasn't necessarily always the right way. Definitely a learning experience. MDS said we ain't winning no Super Bowl. Who your team, MDS? Yeah, Dayon, I was ducked off for a minute, man. I really was, man. A lot of y'all the reason I came back, man. Y'all went, y'all was on my ass, man. Like, dog, you need to go back to work, man. Make some videos. Like, what you doing, bro? Nicole means she gonna get a copy of a letter, huh? What ratio would you say worked for calls to buyers? Explain that for me, Noble. Bandit signs and I do a good bit of Facebook marketing too, and driving for dollars. I've been kind of shying away from direct mail lately. Oh, you like them Niners? Oh man, go on somewhere with that. Think Jimmy Garoppolo gonna do something for y'all this year at quarterback, man, or he just a flash in the pan? Yeah, kind of like that's kind of what I'm saying. In part, Hollywood. Did I link up with contractors help you walk the properties, get rehab costs? Nope, I didn't. I did, man. I was just trying to apply what I had learned, and just kind of going from what I knew. And like, I remember the first guy who bought a house from me, man. Actually a flipper. So I kind of stuck on his wing a little bit and would listen to what he talk about rehabs and costs, and just eventually over time kind of figured out what roofs, how much new roofs cost, how much new HVAC costs, and you know over time it just started coming to me. He is a wholesaler. He wants to connect me, the buyer, but he wants my contract and all info first. Should I trust that? I wouldn't, unless you've done a deal with him before, Miss Harrison. I really wouldn't give him my contract information. He's asking for 1K and a 500 deposit. I don't understand like why the person that's bringing the buyer would want a deposit. That's the part that I'm not understanding. How do you get the seller to call back after the first call? What do you mean, Tony? How many calls you know have to go through until you find a legit buyer? It depends forever. Sometimes the first person that call you back on the property may buy it. Sometimes, man, you may have to go through 12 or 13 different people before you find the right buyer for the property. Brother Timothy J says, when creating a probate list at county clerk's office, do you have to write down the names and address down, or will they compile the list for you? Also, is there a fee? Here in my market, you gotta do all that work yourself. Here in my market, you walk into this office with a lot of big probate, thousands of probate books. It's two computers. You sit down on the computer, and you just gotta go in there. I have to go in there and write all the information down, man. So here in my market, they don't compile the list for me, and I could be wrong, but there should not be a fee to look at probate records. That's public records. There shouldn't be a fee. Now, if they doing work on their side, like if you ask them to print something for you or something like that, or maybe if they do compile a list, then yeah, of course the state gonna charge you at that point. MDS man, dog. That whole Super Bowl, Kyle Shanahan, Patriots, then y'all get Jimmy Garoppolo. To me, that I don't know, man. That's like a lot of coincidences there. And I agree with you. We didn't want that Super Bowl, bro. Man, only the Falcons. Only the Falcons would blow a 28-3 lead, y'all. Only the Falcons, man. I swear. I swear up and down. That still hurt me. I can't speak on the title company, Delvin, but from an attorney state standpoint, what I'll do is I'll send a closing attorney the seller contract and also the buyer contract, and then just tell them the information on the earnest money, which they'll eventually send the contract. But that's pretty much the only thing I send to them. Miss Harrison, she said she has a first contract, but it's really hard to find buyers for rural areas. A lot of times for the rural areas, a lot of times you have to find the buyers that's already living in that area or living in that community. A lot of times they be wanting to compile those properties up in the smaller rural areas. Living in Georgia, trust me, I know about rural areas. How much earnest money do I give to the seller? Zero forever no, but I'm not trying to give them nothing. Not one dime. Like some people do $5, $10 for earnest money. Man, I don't be trying to give them nothing. Leander says, how long did it take me to get my first deal once I decided to go into wholesaling? Um, when I got serious about it and like really focused, probably about 45, 50 days, maybe 2 months. I think just a little bit under 2 months if I remember correctly. I like to see y'all networking in the comments, man. Any of y'all boys on here be playing Mad Man? I need somebody to play online with. No, you don't, Hollywood. If you're a wholesaler, stick to wholesaling. But you don't need multiple strategies. My only strategy when I'm going into a deal is to wholesale it. Unless something just comes across my table that's abnormal. What's my number one marketing tool? I would probably say probably my bandit signs, man. That's probably what I spend more time and energy into, put my signs out. So I would probably say my bandit signs. Have I ever had to cancel a contract with a seller? Oh, absolutely, Tony. That's a part of the business. And I don't even try to take it personally anymore. It's gonna happen. I'm on Xbox One, Tony. If not, I would tell you. I would tear you up, man. Get them birds on you and eat you alive. Yeah, Forever Nova, man. I was so happy. That's what made me start doing videos, bro. I was just so happy to get my first deal. I had seen everybody else come on YouTube and they'll tell you about their first deal. So I was just so happy to get mine. So I made a video about it and it's still here right now. Thank you, MDS. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you rocking with me so long, bro. Thanks a lot. Definitely appreciate that. Hollywood, I do what I call like replenishing right now, unless I'm just working in a different market. So I try to go out there and put at least 50 out per weekend. It be some nights though, man. I get out there and I just get in the groove, dog. I may take 200 signs with me, and I may put like 140 out, just that one trip. So it just kind of depends, man. I've had times I put out 200 signs out there. Sometimes I go out there and maybe I only put 20 or 30 out there. But speaking, you want to put at least 50 out per weekend. That's what you really want to do. You want to put at least 50 signs out there per weekend. Let's get it, Tyrone. Let's get it, man. You're in Connecticut, right, man? So let's get it. Let's get it, man. Maybe we can do something together in Connecticut. Yes, that's good. 50 to 100 banner signs a week is good. You may want to like, if you don't have any out there yet, you may want to give yourself an initial boost and put like maybe 200 out on one weekend. Just gonna get yourself out there, and after that, try to shoot for like at least 50 to 100 per weekend. You'll see the results. You'll start getting the calls. What makes it so you typically will have what's called like a backout clause vendor in your contract. And that way, if you can't find a buyer, you can legally step away from it or step out the contract. In this business, there are going to be times and situations where you're going to step out of a contract, and there's going to be times and situations where the seller will step out of a contract. Man, Delvin probably like 3 months, maybe 3.5 months. And that's something that I have to learn too. Got to learn about like budgeting and money management. You know what I'm saying? Because pretty much this is really truly all commission income, really for the most part, if you strictly exclusively wholesaling. So I done learned lessons in life, man, along my journey doing this. Good job evolving. You got a property to get to them, to sell to them? Yeah, if you got something here in my market, King Willie, I'm in Georgia. So if it's something, where the numbers work out right, yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Ms. Harrison. I appreciate it. And I wish you just the same as well. Yeah, and I use a lot of different apps, man. I may just have to do like a video on the apps. I use like driving for dollar apps. I use like can scanner. Sometimes I use DocuSign. Yeah, I use a lot of different apps, man. I think in this business too, Eddie, the more you know about stuff like that, apps and computers and all that stuff, the better. Cause being like a techie or a geek or nerd in this field, man, this is gonna do nothing but help. Trust me. Forever Nova says, "What's the best advice you have for a newbie like myself? Just go do it. Just go do it. That's the best advice I can give, man. Just go do it. Now, if that starts tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., just go do it. You know, whatever you've been procrastinating about doing as far as wholesaling go, just go do it. Just go do it. Because we all learn how to ride a bike as kids, but before we learn how to ride that bike, we fill off that bike numerous amount of times before we build up the confidence to do it the right way. And once we learn how to do it the right way, you never forget how to ride a bike. So just get on that bike and just go do it. That's the best advice I can give, man. That's correct, Jay. Tony, I always order from dirtcheapsigns.com. Tell them my name, my YouTube channel, man. They give you like 5% off. What's going on, Jarvis? Do I think the wholesaling game is oversaturated? Maybe to an extent. I think it's more trendy probably than oversaturated. I just think it's a trendy thing right now. This kind of used to be like I guess secret type of thing where a lot of people didn't talk about it, but now it's everywhere, man. It's all on the internet. You got TV shows pretty much based around wholesaling, so it's real trendy right now. Jerome says, "How do I feel about ringless voicemail?" Is that when you call somebody, Jerome, and they go straight to their voicemail and their phone don't ring? Is that what it is? Damn, man, that felt great, dog. The day that I left for the final day, my final day at work, man. In a sense, it kind of felt like I walked out of prison a little bit, man. It was an overwhelming feeling. Um, it felt real good, man. It really did, you know. One of my good partners, man, he live in the Dallas, Fort Worth area. I actually went and hollered at him the last time I was in Texas, man. I think it was in 2017. Jay says his partner Falcon fan, and boy, he lost hard off that one. Man, Jay, dog, we all lost on that one. We all lost financially and we all lost emotionally, bro. That was just, man, words can't describe that feeling, dog. That's like crazy, man. I probably here in my market, John. I probably would do like 25, man. That's normally what I'd be at here for a total rehab. Here is 25. Unless maybe the house was built like in the 1800s or something. I know, for me, like I said, this is my market. For me, I normally only typically gonna knock on that 30 door if it's some fire damage or just some extra extraordinary there. Ed, what's good, man? What's cracking? I have heard of Investor Fuse, Hollywood. I know it's very popular among the wholesaling community. I have heard of it. And yeah, maybe I'll do a video on all the apps that I use. Typically, forever, it typically takes them right about 3 weeks. That's typically their average with me on getting my bandit signs. If you order through their like peak season, like around election time, sometimes it could take up to 5 to 6 weeks, especially if it's during the elections. And elections are coming up soon. Yes, Jerome, walking straight out of prison, dog. Man, you just don't know the feeling, bro. I still remember the first thing when I walked out. Man, I took my phone out and I took me a selfie with the office building in the background. Wrote me like an inspirational post on my Facebook and stuff, man. So man, it felt wonderful, bro. I miss like the people that from the job, but I don't necessarily miss the job itself. How many offers should I get before taking one? Explain that to me, Tony. 50-50. Dayon, right down the middle. You get half the pie, I get the other half of the pie. Exactly, MDS. It's the same here too, man. It's really the same too. Same here, man. You see new bandit signs, you see new phone numbers, and after that 1 or 2 cycles, a lot of times you don't see people put out signs anymore. Yeah, Jar, you're right about the Mac time there, man. They gotta understand that these houses down here don't sell at the same rate that the houses in Atlanta do. You're so right about that. As many as it takes to get the house sold, Tony. Whether that be 1 or 100, is really no basic number there. What's cracking, Detroit? D-Town in the house. Ain't no problem, Jay. No problem at all, man. A lot of y'all been messing with me since day one, dog. So it ain't no problem, bro. And a lot of y'all go real hard for me, man, which I really do appreciate it. So a lot of y'all, man, y'all inspire me and motivated me to just get out here and work hard. What's cracking, Auntie Sasha? Have you ever did an auction for your cash buyers? I never done that forever. Cause be honest with you, man, when that right buy give me that right number, I'll be ready to go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's move. I sure appreciate that too, Jay White, man. If I ever come to Detroit, I'm gonna come back to this video and look you up. What's cracking, Rochester, New York? I ain't been in New York yet, Leander, but I'm gonna bring my country draw up there pretty soon, man. I'm about to come in the summertime though. Maybe next time I can come to New York, stay for like a week. How did I build my buyers list? Really, just a real streamlined answer is just by like doing deals and then like networking with the buyers. Because one thing about buyers is they know other buyers. So once you do like a good amount of deals, you start bringing a lot of good deals to the table. A lot of times, them buyers, they'll just start reaching out to you, man. I have buyers calling me to this day, just asking me, hey, what you got? You got anything here? You got anything there? Um, and there you have it. You don't need like a super huge list of buyers. You just need some really, really, really good, strong, consistent buyers. Tony says he needs more info on probates. Tony, I'm probably gonna do like another video on probates, man. That's that was a real popular video I did on like the probate letters. So I may do another video on probates because man, I love probate leads, man. A lot of people don't like to deal with probates, but I love probates. Auntie Sasha, I hadn't tried Melissa Data yet, but I used to go to what's that one called? list source. I've done list source quite a few times. How did I get my first buyer? From a buyer's bandit sign Hollywood. I had got a white corrugated plastic, and then the I wrote like the information about the house, and I stuck the bandit sign. I still remember where I put it at. Put it on the right side of a convenience store into merging traffic where you have to yield, and a lot of people have to stop because there's a light there too. And he called me from right that sign right there. But it was a buyer's bandit sign, just to answer your question. Jay, man, I was super nervous on my first deal, man. I was super nervous, bro. I was excited and I was nervous at the same time. Forever Noble, I think REI meetings are a good thing. Um, I've been to an REI meeting before. A lot of people normally that's gonna be in your local market gonna be in those. There's nothing wrong with them. I can't say anything bad about them. Some people go every week. Some people never go at all. What's cracking? What's good, nephew? He said he's been subscribed to me for a while, bro. I've been here since the video of you getting your first deal. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you a lot. What's the longest it's ever taken you to close on a property? Man, maybe like probably about 4 months if I'm remembering correctly, because we had like red tape with the title and had to keep going back and forth. If I remember correctly, it probably was about 4 months. I may have had one that have took longer, but I think about 4 months if I can remember correctly. Yes, sir, brother Timothy 478. Stand up, man. You know what I'm saying? We small here in Middle Georgia, but we do our thing, dog. Yep, right here in the Mac, man. That's what I'm sitting down right now, right here in the Mac town. I got a good partner out there in Phoenix too, man. I used to work with him. He moved to Phoenix. I think he doing insurance out there now. Congratulations, KMD Property. Derek, I'm actually about to get off, man. I actually was only supposed to be on for like 15 minutes. I was supposed to go to Home Depot, but an hour and 14 minutes later, I'm still here. So I'm probably about to be off real soon. We in here just talking about all kind of stuff, man. Wholesaling. They ain't here dissing my Falcons. Talking about man. I normally for direct mail MDS, my list is gonna normally be a probate list or a vacant list. And if I'm doing like if I'm ordering, like let's say if I'm doing 1,000 leads for um vacant motivated sellers, then I'm not gonna typically mail those myself. I just normally send them some postcards, and the company that's printing the letters or printing postcards will also mail them out as well. I haven't, not yet, Tyrone. I haven't in an apartment, building, or store as of yet, but I'm sure wanting to get one though, man. A lot of times the spread be better there. Oh, that's a tough question, Auntie Sasha. If I had to pick just one, Bandit sounds or Driving for Dollars. Oh, that is a tough one. Those are two crucial ones there. Oh, I cannot say. I would probably say, just if I had to give you one, I would probably go with Driving for Dollars. I'd probably say that one. But it's hard to say one. What's the best way to determine ARV? Let's see if I can say this in real quickly, but you want to go to like once you get the address, you want to go to sites like Zillow, sites like Trulia, sites like Realtor.com, sites like Redfin, depending on what market you are in, iComps, FindCompsNow.com, and you want to go there and you want to see what their estimated value is on those sites. And if you have any one of those that their estimate is just totally out of whack with the rest of them, a lot of times you can throw that away. But you generally want to average those all up and divide them by however many amount you chose. If you just chose four sources, take that combined average of those four, and that will be your ARV. And I hope I didn't. I hope I answered that question. I know I was going everywhere on that. I got 15 more minutes of battery left, y'all. So probably gonna be getting off pretty soon. Or 15% I meant to say. Sometimes I skip Trace Saddam. Sometimes I try to be like my own personal investigator at times, but sometimes I will skip Trace. It just all depends on the type of list that I've mailed to at that point in time. But if you are able to, if it's within your time and within your budget, you always want to skip Trace your return mail because that's where a lot of investors or a lot of wholesalers stop at the return mail part. So if you consistently skip tracing, or if you consistently find out where that person now lives when that mail comes back, a lot of times you'll figure out better because most people ain't gonna take those extra 2 or 3 steps. The last 12 months, not really, not much at all, Jay White, not much at all, bro. What do you tell the seller if they still live in the house? Just explain to them that during this point in time, you're gonna bring your investors over. You know, you'll have them coming in to take a look at the property as well. You'll make sure to let Mrs. Seller know a day or two in advance so y'all can schedule a time at her or their convenience. But you just trying to want you just pretty much want to try to let them know that hey, while you're here, I'm gonna be bringing my investors over here, my team over here. You know, they're gonna be looking at the property also. What's the best way to advertise your deal for free besides Craigslist and bandit signs? Uh, definitely Facebook. Definitely Facebook. Just visited Georgia to pick up my new bully. You got a dog? You got a pit bull? And what part of Georgia were you in? Yeah, that new stadium off the chain, dog. That new stadium off the chain. It was like a little club, a little lounge area, man. That stadium off the chain. It's expensive for them games now, but man, that stadium off the chain, bro. And I ain't even seen the whole stadium yet, man. I've been to the club seat area, and that's like, psh, oh, I see why I don't be looking at like nobody at our games, cause everybody be in the little club areas, man. It's crazy. But the soccer team, they had that Benz rocking. I gotta get them all their props. And I'm a way bigger Falcon fan than I am a soccer fan, but them soccer fans, man, they off the chain. They is off the chain. Hey, Jelly Bean. I only let my buyer see the seller side of the contract, Jelly, if we're in agreement to do an assignment contract. But if I'm actually double closing, then the buyer they're not gonna see my contract. That's gonna go directly to the lawyer. So that's the only time that I'm sending my buyer my contract. What's good, nephew? You want to go to the county courthouse for that particular area? Go to the county courthouse and it'll be public records. Just let them know you want to look at the probate records. I'm gonna do that, Eddie Lee. Thank you for that tip. I don't think that's worth calling at all Forever Noble. Cause if the ARV is at 30 and somebody bought it for 25 and that was just in March, I don't see any kind of room there for you to make any money or any real reason that they would be motivated to sell it at such an extreme discount, being they just bought it months ago. So I wouldn't spend no time on that one. I left my job. I think it was in 2016, Derek. Yep, 2016, man. So maybe about 2 years ago now. I pretty much keep everything about me on the low, Dayon. I really do, man. Just like sometimes y'all don't see me for months. Sometimes my family don't hear from me for months, man. So I'm pretty low key guy, man. Appreciate you checking in, Hollywood. No problem, Saddam. I gotta get my calculator out, KMD. Hold on a second. All right, let's see what you got here. Ooh, 40 can repair. Yeah, that's definitely a deal, KMD property. If that ARV and that repair cost is correct, man, that's a sweet deal. You should have a great day on your closing. Double closing is fairly simple and easy. It pretty much means that you're gonna close with the seller initially, and then you'll also turn around and then you'll close with the buyer. And what will happen is the title company or the closing attorney, they will simply use the buyer's money that they send in and do both of those transactions. You're gonna pay two different closing costs, or I shouldn't say you're gonna. There will be two separate closing costs, but it's really not complicated about it. You're welcome, Jelly Bean. Let me go back. I think I missed something. Auntie Sasha, did you buy one of them dollars from Big Boy from Outcast? You must. I assume that must be a real expensive pit bull for you to come from Boston. And how did you like Atlanta? For wherever Nova, you off the chain, dog. He is off the chain. For the most part, my family was pretty supportive of it, Jay. They was pretty supportive of it. I probably had my most thorough discussion with my mom. I taught her about it for a good little minute, and she just told me, do what's gonna be best for me. Just don't make a decision based off emotions, though. Think about it, and whatever decision I make, she was gonna rock with it. Cam, do you want to go to you want to join all the real estate groups? Them buy, sell, lease, own, them type of groups in your markets or the market you're going to be working in. All them groups, join them all. Anything real estate affiliated, join them all and start marketing your properties in there. Join all the wholesaler groups, the investor groups, because there'll be a lot of buyers in there. You can even use that marketplace now. Facebook even got that marketplace. You can put properties on that marketplace now. Let's see, I have property ARV is 180. Repairs is 80,000. Yeah, that's the deal. If you can get if all those numbers are correct and you can get it at 40, then yeah, that's definitely a deal. You probably would make at least around 10 grand off that, at least eight. Okay, gotcha, Auntie Sasha. So you was here just not you was just here a moment ago, because I know the hair show was pretty recent. The hair show be pretty nice. I've been out there a couple times. Normally a lot of people be out there too. They have concerts and stuff. They if I don't get but $400 out of the deal, I would still take it happily, man. Anything that's a positive gain, I'm all for it, man. I'm not at the point in my career where I can like turn down a 300, 400, 500,000 dollar deal. So shoot, even if it's $250, I'll take it. Anything with a plus on the profit side, I'm all for it. Oh, Tony says two houses. So each house has the same ARV. No problem, KLD. Best of luck, man. Connecticut and New York checking in again. All right, y'all. I say we got 3 more minutes, and I'll probably go ahead and check out if my phone don't die before then. So you got Tony. You saying you got one house has 120,000 ARV, and what's the repair on the one at 120? Yep. I'm at 5% on my phone now, Pete. So I'm waiting on Tony to send me these repairs. What do you think about subject to existing mortgage deals? I'm really not at this point Forever Nova. I'm really not qualified to speak on them because I don't have a lot of experience there, and I've never done a deal like that before. You right about that, Auntie Sasha. You 100% right. So you said it has 60,000 in repairs. If it has 60,000 in repairs, Tony, it's probably the most you want to offer there is probably around 20 to 25K. Appreciate you checking in, MDS. And I'm gonna go ahead and check out too, y'all, before my phone go completely dead on me. Thank you, Jay. The next time I come to Tampa, I'm definitely gonna check you out, Jay, man. How you treat me to a vegan spot out there or something. Hey, but y'all, man, y'all hold it down, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. We stayed on about an hour and 30 minutes tonight, so I'm gonna go ahead and check out. You never know, I may pop up and do this again tomorrow, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is fun to me. Answer y'all questions real quick and just see what y'all up to. But peace out, y'all. I'm out.